after all these years. I would like to yield to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Maxwell Frost.
Thank you, Congresswoman Ramirez. I'm here today because I am ecstatic that we have a president who had chosen to lead with love and compassion when it comes to other humans in this country. And thank you to President Biden for having the heart and the courage to do what his predecessor never did: show respect and dignity to dreamers and DACA recipients who came to the United States through no choice of their own and are fully fledged Americans in every single way but one: on paper. The Biden administration's move to expand health care coverage to DACA recipients is bold and historic and follows Democrats' commitment to helping immigrant communities that have spent their lives living in the shadows of this country. And there are over 500,000 dreamers in the United States who were extended a literal lifeline through the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, and over 20,000 DACA recipients who call my home state of Florida their home. And through DACA has been a wonderful beacon of hope for so many. And through his action, President Biden has acknowledged that more can be done to help this vulnerable community. For years now, DACA recipients have been living with a weight on their shoulders, constantly worried about losing their jobs means the end of being able to afford affordable care, or being able to afford care, forcing them to stay in working environments that perhaps mistreat them, backed into a corner where they have to decide between getting to see a doctor or having to push through the pain and the illness. And let me be clear, no one should have to make that decision between access to medical care or putting food on the table or having a roof over their head. Healthcare in this country is and should be a human right for all people by virtue of being alive. But that's a scenario that's all too familiar with DACA recipients. I've read stories of young people from my hometown of Central Florida who have gotten health care for the first time in their lives, only then to lose that care because of a layoff or job cuts. I'm hard-pressed to find a working person or working family that can afford to pay $500 or more a month for health insurance. And I've always said that if you love somebody, you want them to have health care. You want them to have a good-paying job that treats them fairly. If you love somebody, you want them to succeed. You want them to thrive. If you love somebody, you want them to be healthy. You want them to be able to see a doctor, a medical professional, because if, God forbid, they could become sick. See, dreamers are people. DACA recipients are people. Immigrants are people. And they deserve to be able to get their care through Medicaid and the ACA just like anybody else in this country. We still have so much work left to do to ensure that we actually create a compassionate, humane immigration system that offers a real pathway to citizenship for the hundreds of thousands of dreamers and DACA recipients who call Florida home and this country home. But this action is a beacon of hope. And to the dreamers across the country that are listening right now, hear me when we say we won't stop fighting, not just for you, but with you. Home is here. Healthcare is a human right. And thank you to all the organizers, young people, advocacy groups, and allies across the country who have spent years fighting for this very moment. Let's get to work and continue to provide for all people. Thank you. I yield back to Congresswoman Ramirez.